Assalamu Alaikum everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm really excited about today's video because it is that time again where we look at the entire portfolio, and this time I'm going to do things slightly different because we're going to look at all 26 holdings in this portfolio. I'm going to show you exactly how much I'm up, down, how much they pay me in dividends, and what I'm going to do moving forward with these companies. So that's a lot of information to get through. So all 26, I'm going to do exactly that. And we will look at the dividends that I have received for the month of May. I will show you the forecast, basically what I've been forecasted for next year, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years in terms of dividend side of things. And we'll talk about the rental income. We'll talk about, what I'm going to do with the portfolio moving forward as well, inshallah. So that's a lot to get into. Let's start the video. But before we do that, as always, I would genuinely appreciate if you can join us at the Patreon account, where $5 or £5 or whatever, less than £5 will get you access to the family portfolio. I regularly share all the things that I'm buying in this portfolio and the family portfolios. I do like a stock analysis and so on. There's a spreadsheet that has all the undervalued stocks, which I'm updating right now for the next 3 months. And there's a trackers that you can get hold of it. So if you keep scrolling down and just click see more, then you'll see the ETF trackers that's there. And the Discord, by the way, the link is on the description on this video, and it's free now, so you don't need to join here to have access to it. It's a free Discord. A lot of brothers are sharing very good practices. I've started it. I couldn't basically contribute as much as I wanted to, so I've made it free for the base but there are basically brothers who are monitoring and basically managing the whole thing. So may Allah give them, hasanat for doing that, because they are really doing a great job. They're helping other brothers. And one thing I love about the Discord, it represents the community, because I'm sharing everything I'm doing, they sharing everything they're doing, which is absolutely amazing. And that's what we want to do. And this leads me to the reason why I started this whole thing. And about 5 years ago, basically I was interested in the stock market for the last 7-8 years and so on. I've read so many books, but it was only basically 2020 that I said to myself, I need to start. And that was around January 2020. And at that point, I started investing in like couple, apps, the apps, Wahid and so on. And I was trying to find a research. I was talking to my friends who are basically got like economics background and so on. They're not Muslim, some of them, and they couldn't explain to me a lot of the what I need to buy, what I need to like how to go about buying Shariah-compliant stocks and so on. They talk about the usual, buying the S&P 500, holding it for a long time, dollar cost averaging and all of that stuff. And it was then that I just said to myself, let me just do a little bit more research. I couldn't find a lot of useful information out there. Of course, there were brothers who are sharing information, but they were sharing just like a few bits of here and there, and I couldn't tell what they're investing in, and they have to sign up to do this and that. So at the end, what I end up doing is I said, you know what, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be transparent, and I'm going to share this basically portfolio. Like the family portfolio has always been private, but I've started sharing it with the community as well on the Discord, because I don't want to make that one public yet anyway. So with this one, it's my actual money. This is literally every single month, as soon as I get paid, a portion of that money goes straight into this account. And I've been trying to maximize my ISA account for the last 4 years. I did it. Last year was the first time I actually was short of £5,000. I still invested £15,000 despite having a massive project going on right now. I promise you, I've got no money other than my emergency fund right now, because I'm basically, I'm investing in another project, which InshaAllah will be finished by the end of this year. So my final payment I think is around November this year. So once that happens, then I will be a free man, InshaAllah. Then I should be able to put a lot more money on this account, inshallah. Potentially I might start even using the ISA account, probably the invest account, because there are a few stocks that potentially I might want to buy, like TSMC and so on. So yeah, inshallah, that's the long-term plan. But that's the reason why I started this whole thing, just to share my journey with the community. And if you're enjoying it, to be honest with you, and you're learning something, or even you've seen what I'm doing, and if you want to copy, just be careful. Don't copy everything as they are. But of course, do what you need to do. But at the same time, it is really nice to see like someone else sharing their like in like what they're doing in the stock market. So if you are interested and you're enjoying, alhamdulillah, then I'm happy. If one person comes out and says, you know what, I'm enjoying what you're doing, that ticks the box, alhamdulillah. And of course, as always, I genuinely appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in week and week out. If we can grow this community even further, it would be absolutely amazing. I would love to do that. I would love to grow this community to 100 something, I don't know, 200,000 people. I'm trying, but when you have a full-time job and you've got a family, you can imagine it's quite intense in terms of finding time to do a quality research and share it with the community and so on. But I will definitely continue to share my journey. Like it's not gonna stop. Even recently I took a little bit of break, and the reason was because I didn't have a lot of time. But alhamdulillah, since then things got better, alhamdulillah, which is nice. So if you can join us as a Patreon account, it genuinely helps the channel. Okay, right, let's get into this, because what I want to do now is I want to start with the 26 stocks that I own. We're going to look at the company price, the sector, shares, how many shares of that company I own, the market value, so how much is it basically valued at that, like how much money wise am I holding in that, what my total gains or loss are, and there's quite a bit of losses. Don't be alarmed. Okay, you will see that in a second. Basically we're looking at dividends income, so how much of dividends am I receiving from that individual stock. I haven't shared this information for a while, so this will be really interesting for you, some of you. And then I'm going to share with you Morningstar valuation. Where do they think this basically the fair value price is, and then how much of that, whether they buy right now, are they holding, or whatever they are, whether they basically have a upside or downside kind of thing. Seeking Alpha, I'm going to use Seeking Alpha, Wall Street basically target prices, as well as simply Wall Street for the UK based companies. For all the UK based companies, I want to use pounds because that's what they're trading at, and I'm going to use simply Wall Street valuation for that one. And then I'll tell you exactly whether they basically buy, sell. Right at the end, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do with each individual stock, whether I'm buying more of it, selling it, and I'll give you the rationale behind it. So I hope you're going to enjoy this. It's not going to be long because I'm going to do a sector at a time, so each sector will probably take us a few minutes. So let's get started. And the first sector we're going to talk about today is one of my favorite sectors. I have a computer science degree. This is where my bread and butter. I know exactly everything I need to know about technology companies. So this is where bulk of my money is, to be fair. I don't know if it's the biggest sector for me right now, but I'll check. In fact, it might just be because of the fact I've added NVIDIA recently. But there you have it. There's the 5 companies, okay, that are in this sector. You've got Broadcom. I've got 35 shares. I used to have 50 shares. I've recently trimmed it. I am up 387%, which is absolutely amazing. I'm up, by the way, for all of these sectors, stocks including NVIDIA, 27%, which is absolutely ridiculous. It makes you think. I wish I bought more, but then at the same time, I didn't want to take that huge risk when it was actually going down a lot. And as you can see here, every single one of them I'm up. And from 6,000, 3,000, 9,000, ASML is my biggest holdings here. Probably will be for a long time because I want to buy more shares of this company in the long run, inshallah, another 3 stocks or so. And as you can see, NVIDIA is the lowest, is about 1,500 I invested. And when it comes to dividend side of things, the biggest one out of all of them is actually ASML, pays me about £74. Look at NVIDIA, less than 50 pounds. To be honest with you, NVIDIA is not a dividend paying company. They just, I don't know why they even bothered started. They should cut that and use it for something else. Morningstar is basically saying all of these companies, apart from NVIDIA and Broadcom, basically all of them are right now have an upside about 17%, 30%, and basically this one has about 19% and so. But what I'm really disappointed with is basically Broadcom hasn't done anything for a while, despite having a massive presence in terms of AI side of things. But we will see how it goes. But right now it seems basically undervalued. But what I'm gonna do in the long run, and as you can see, all of them, look at the difference between Morningstar valuation for an NVIDIA and basically the Wall Street basically giants out there. Wall Street is saying it's about 20, I think they're saying even a strong buy right now, 26 basically percent upside from where we are. $170 is where they think the price should be. 125 is where it comes to Morningstar, and it's $135 per share right now. So overall, I really liked all of them. The ones that I would love to add to is Nvidia, but since I'm going to change this for now, because the reason I'm changing that is because it has gone up quite a bit. So basically in the last couple of days, I planned the video a couple of days ago, and since then basically it has gone up a lot, so I'm not touching that. I would like to buy more Salesforce and potentially Qualcomm, so might be buying Qualcomm if inshallah I have the funding and so on. Then I potentially will be buying more. ASML, I'm going to leave it alone for quite some time and see how things go, because I do own already closer to £10,000 of that company, and I'm up about how much am I up? About 5%, which is not bad at all. Okay, so that's the first sector. Okay, and these companies will always be my favorite, like I've always said to you guys, because the reason is because I understand their business model more than any other sectors. Okay, and then of course, because when it comes to growth side of it, your majority of your portfolio growth will come from these type of businesses. Okay, now the next one is Procter & Gamble, Hershey, and Reckitt Benckiser. All three companies are in the consumer staples. As you can see, this one I'm down basically about 19%. This one I'm down about 8%, and whereas this one is just up about 14%. Procter & Gamble is one of the companies that I wish I bought more. At the time when I was buying, it was slightly undervalued, then it's gone up so much. I would love to have at least 100 shares of that company and just leave it alone, because it's one of the oldest companies that I bought. So when I started the portfolio, it might even be the oldest. Do you know what? I'm going to check that now. So if you go to Trading 212, you can actually check, basically you can actually filter this. So if I put investment date, filter it that way, there you go. The bottom there is basically Procter & Gamble, so that means it's the oldest company. Like I bought them first, basically before any other company, because I know their product well enough. But as you can see, they've done a decent 14%. I get about £90 from them. Hershey, I'm getting about £156. Reckitt Benckiser, I've actually been paid from them. I'll show you exactly before the end of the video how much they paid me this month. I was actually quite surprised. It was a nice, decent amount. Just expecting £200 from the company every single year. And as you can see, each one of the companies, and Procter & Gamble is just still too expensive. Hershey is still undervalued. I'm not going to add to any of the companies. Potentially, if I actually do, it'll probably be this one here. Okay, because they do expect about, I think, 7% or so growth moving forward. Dividends are absolutely amazing, so I wanna, maybe I might start adding to this one in the next few months, but for now I'm just gonna leave it as a hold. Next one is simple. This one is the only consumer discretionary. I wish I had more companies, but only consumer discretionary company that I've had in the portfolio for quite some time. 24% up. As you can see, I get about £80 from this company. And Morningstar is saying it's basically overvalued right now, about 17%. Wall Street is saying it's about 13% upside from where we are now. But it's still, for me, it's still a hold. It's probably one of the best companies out there. I wish I bought more, and I keep saying this, but genuinely I wish I bought more of that company when it was trading under the basic intrinsic values. Now the next sector is the one that I really don't know much about, and I struggle, and I'm not going to lie to you, because these pharmaceutical companies, it all depends on their pipeline, how much products that they've got in the pipeline, how much they've got, what they're selling right now, as well as of course how much they sell it for, the patent running out. So there's a lot to keep up with this sector. But I found Merck is actually stable, and I understand that like they've got like products like Keytruda potentially in the next couple of years. I think it's 2030 the patent runs out and the company might be in trouble, but they've, based on their latest earnings report I listened to, they've got a lot of other products in the pipeline. They've got ones that have already been established, so that potentially will take over from Keytruda. So let's see how it goes. Anyway, Novo has been down quite a bit. It's losing market share to Eli Lilly, but at the same time I don't think the company is in trouble at all. Let's see what happens in the next few months. AstraZeneca is another one that had a problem with China and so on. It came back down a lot, but right now it's only 2%. Basically I'm only 2% in the negative, so I'm not really worried about. Even Novo is just 1% basically down from where in fact it's actually on the positive. How is that even possible? No, that's not it. Cannot be the case. Let's check. Where's Novo? Should be right at the top. Here we go. Wow. Hold on a second. When did this happen? Novo cannot be in the positive. It is in positive. I'm genuinely shocked. So wait, so this week, see, this shows you I don't really keep up with these stocks as much. Okay, so this week has been up about 6%. For the month, it's up about 7%. For the last 3 months, down about 21%. So it's still down, but okay, that's interesting. So I am in the green overall after all, so I didn't even know that. But I'm getting about £83 from this company. AstraZeneca about almost £100. Merck is over £120. This matters to me a lot, and I'll talk about it towards the end anyway. But I am buying more of these two here. Okay, I'm going to continue buying. Maybe not so much on Novo right now because it's actually gone up a little bit. So let's see what happens. Okay, next sector will be slightly quicker, because I don't want to make the video any longer than it needs to be. Automatic data processing, Cummins, UPS, as well as Union Pacific. All four of companies are absolutely amazing. Love the industrial sector. UPS is a dead company right now, but 42% basically down. I'm not worried. I'm just going to leave it alone for at least another year or two and see how things turn around. And in the meantime, I'm collecting that dividend about £250 a year. Let's see what happens. I'm not really bothered, I'll be honest with you. And the rest of them are really great companies, but I feel like they're all expensive, so I'm not adding to them at all, and I'm going to leave them alone. I really love Cummins. It's got a bit of a growth in it, as well as automatic data processing, but yeah, I'm not going to touch those companies. The next four is financials. You wouldn't think you will find financial companies as a Shariah-compliant, but they do. Especially, I get messages from everybody, Visa and MasterCard. How are they basically halal? Well, they are, because they are basically they facilitate those transactions. Maybe I'm not explaining it well, but they are technology companies. They they make sure that transaction takes place, make sure the transaction is actually secure, all of the things that basically the company needs to do. S&P Global and credit rating, as well as the MSCI, which is basically company that deals with a lot of the indices and so on. All of them, I love them. I really like those companies. I'm not touching them. I'm not adding to them. You can see some of them are up a lot. Visa like almost to 60%, which is really nice to see. The dividends is not the best, but again, they're not here just for the dividends. They're here for the growth side of things. And the fact is actually a lot of them are up. Even this one has come back now. MSCI has come back and is 3% in the positive. So let's see how it goes, inshallah, in the next few months. Next sector that we're looking at today is energy. Both of them are down. Energy is down and out almost this year. This might be a great opportunity for me to load up. So I'm looking at them right now, potentially be adding to them in the next few months. But right now, as we speak, for the next at least a month and a bit, I don't think I will be adding to any of these companies. There are other companies on my watch list that I will be adding to. Now, in terms of dividends, these companies are almost like a dividend play for me. Okay, and as you can see here, the one pays £130, the other one pays almost £100 or £95. So they're going to be in there. So talking about dividends, there are two companies that are really here for the dividends side of things. Okay, potentially a bit of growth as well are these two companies, and as you can see here, they actually do pay £117, okay, cube, and the other one is about £150. Okay, I really like those two, especially this one, MMA. I'm going to add to it, inshallah, in the next few weeks, because I don't think I have a full position yet. Next two companies and the final companies, okay, you'll be happy to know that we finished, is Air Products and Chemicals and Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto is down quite a bit. There was some protest happening in the US recently. But yeah, Air Products and Chemicals will probably be one of the best performing companies I've had. I've always had a problem with their free cash flow, but it seems it hasn't actually impacted the dividend side of things. I'm still up quite a bit. I get £112 from this company. Rio Tinto, I get, that's not what I wrote. Yeah, £534. Wow, that's a lot. I had to double check. That's basically how much I get from this company. That's a lot. But I remember recently I got about over £200 in the last time. So it is the end for the company. So there you have it. That's all the companies that I own in this portfolio. Maybe I'll just make it slightly smaller so you can see the whole thing. if you want to. Okay, and yeah, that's everything I own. The only ones that I would like to buy more of are the 5 that is highlighted in green. The rest of them I'm going to leave them alone. And again, I'm not planning to sell anything. I promise you, I'm not planning to sell anything. In fact, the only one that is basically I'm just a bit concerned is Cube. Cube kind of been going in and out of Sharia compliance side of things, but because I want to make sure I'm using basically the market cap of 12 not 12 months, 24 months or 36 months is basically being going in and out of Sharia compliance side of things. So right now I'm not worried. I'm not going to touch it. If the market cap goes back up, then it shouldn't be a problem anyway for this company. So that is basically the first part of this video. The next will be very quick. So these are the companies that paid me dividends this month. So 257 pounds, or that's what I've received for the month of May. And as you can see, these are the companies that have paid me. The one I was telling you about, I was surprised, is actually this one is here, 121 pounds from one company. It's absolutely amazing. Even again, basically Rio Tinto paid me over 200 pounds, now 120 something pounds. And as you can see here, the dividends is actually since I started. So I started May 2020. Since then, basically over the last 5 years, basically, so you can see every single year how much, single month how much I'm been getting. Every single May how much I've been getting. It's been increasing. So right now to get 257 pounds is absolutely amazing. Last month I've got a 400 pounds. Well, check this out. Last year we got 1,900, let's call it, right? This year's 1,100 already, which is absolutely amazing if you think about it. So we still have loads of, basically we're not even midway through. Tomorrow is going to be 1st of June. So we just basically gone through like midway through, and I still got so much. So inshallah we'll see where we end up. But my main target is to continue buying high quality businesses, not just because of the dividends, some of them dividend play, but majority for the growth side of things, inshallah, to build a portfolio of stocks that will basically be here for a very, very long time. Right, talking about income side of things, my rental income for the month has always been this. So that's how much I get out of. And when you add the rental income, so they add the two together, I've been paid £763. My goal is, and I've always said this to you guys, is to be able to inshallah live off my basically income, okay, the passive income that comes from either dividends or the rental income, potentially to replace my salary. If I can get to that stage, that would be absolutely amazing. It might take me for years and years and years, okay, it doesn't matter how long it takes me. That's my goal. And again, I'm not saying I need, £7,000 to retire or anything like that. I'm just being realistic. Potentially, I'm going to end up retiring a low income, okay, low cost, for example, country where the cost of living is not as expensive as the UK or US or whatever in the Western world. And potentially, yeah, basically that's the long-term plan, but we will see what happens. Now I'm going to show you exactly what I'm expecting moving forward in terms of dividends. Sorry about the fact that it's actually all in dollars, but I'm going to use this to explain to you. So right now, this is my entire portfolio. This is basically the per year. They basically based on what I've provided on this website. I'm expecting the dividend growth to be about 9.2%, okay, per year. Now, if I reinvest that dividend, right now my portfolio is about 3%. So the reinvested that 3%, that will mean about the portfolio will grow about 12.2% every single year. That's absolutely amazing. Then if I invest £1,000, so imagine if dollars, so I'm investing 1,000 every single month. I'm not even thinking about maxing my ISA account or anything like that. Just say, for example, I include just do that for the next whatever years. Check this out. In 5 years, in 2030, I will have 8,700. Okay. In 10 years, so 2035, I would have 17,000. And in 15 years will be 32,000. So in 15 years down the line, when I'm around 50 plus, okay, 51, 52, whatever, yeah, I'm expecting the portfolio to be giving me hopefully $33,000 a year. Potentially that could be my retirement. Okay, and that's just this portfolio. Inshallah, the portfolio is going to grow. Inshallah, I would have other investments that are basically will be paid me a lot more money. But yeah, that's the goal. And again, this is why I keep saying to people, like, I have a goal, I have a plan, I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to ignore the noise, what's happening in the overall markets and so on. Okay, I don't really care whether my stocks are going up and down. They will go up, they will go down, and that's a normal thing. But I want to make sure, inshallah, in the long run, okay, I stay grounded and I just think about the bigger picture. I know a few people who have done that. I've seen it. I've spoken to them. I know exactly what they've done and so on. I've got the blueprint. I just need to continue doing this. And if you're buying stocks, okay, then you just need to have that, mentality of, if stocks are down, I'm buying more. If they're too expensive, maybe not too much, but I'm gonna keep buying anyway. Dollar cost average. I'm not gonna be scared out of the market. I'm not gonna sell anything. I'm gonna continue and think about the long run. Okay, and that's it. That's genuinely, that's my goal. That's my plan. So inshallah, in the next few months, will be buying less of stocks, inshallah, because I've got a couple of projects, like I said, and I'm genuinely skinned. But I'm going to continue still doing what I do, and share with you guys what I'm doing every single week, inshallah. If you're enjoying this type of content and you're still here, tell me what's in your portfolio. Tell me what you're buying, what your basically goals are, what is the long-term plan. And if you can join us the Patreon account, that will be absolutely massive help to the channel. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu Alaikum.